binding sheaves in the field. Then behold, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And indeed your sheaves stood all around and bowed down to my sheaf. Let me go on to the next verse, number 8. And his brother said to him, shall you indeed reign over us? Or shall you indeed have dominion over us? So they hated him even the more for his dreams and for his words. A dreamer and a doer. One of the good things about living will always have a propensity to have dreams. And dreams are good. Dreams are good. Sometimes we have nightmares. That's not so good. But pleasant dreams, things that drop into your spirit while you are in, most of the time, an unconscious state, because dreams have to do with when you are basically unconscious. Visions have to do when you are conscious. Joseph had a dream, and his dream was orchestrated by God. He was 17 years old when he had this particular dream that his brothers would bow down to him. And I'm not going to go into all of it because he gave 2 examples how they would bow. He used the sheep to draw that illustration. Then he used the moon, the stars, and all that to draw that illustration. And they were upset at him because of his dreams. Not only were they upset at him because of his dreams, but they were also angry with him and jealous of him because his father gave him a multicolored coat. Because Joseph, hallelujah, was Jacob's favorite son. He loved him because he had him at his old age. And also he had him by the woman that he really loved, Rachel, who he cried when he saw her. That's another sermon for another time. So when they heard of these dreams that Joseph was giving to his brothers, they got angry and they threw him in the pit. They said, we're going to throw him in the pit. And one of the brothers said, well, let's don't kill him. Let's just, let's sell him off to the Ishmaelites. So they killed the animal, put blood on him, and made it seem like something had really happened to him, but they sold him. After that, they sold him to the Israelites, and then he winds up in Potiphar's house. Potiphar gives him authority all over his house and everything. Then his wife decides that she wants to have him. And being the man of integrity that Joseph was, he did not fall for that. He stood. Temptation is great, but he was able to overcome that temptation because of the God that was inside of him. And because Potiphar's wife was angry at the fact that he didn't fall for her, then she's going to holler rape. Tells her husband about it. He's thrown into jail. So now he comes from the pit into the prison. Twice he was into the prison. Now, 13 years later, he's 30 years old. He winds up in Egypt. Pharaoh makes him second in command to him in Egypt because he was a great dream interpreter. He could interpret dreams. And he interpreted the dream for Pharaoh. And because of that, he made him second in command. And here he is now, made governor over Egypt. There was famine in the land where his brothers and fathers were back in Canaan. And the father, Jacob, urged his sons to go into Egypt because he heard there was grain in the land. There was prosperity in the land. So they get there to the land, and there was Joseph. And immediately they didn't know who he was until later on. But how the story unfolds is that it started with a dream. And the dream came to fruition. So he went from a dreamer to being a doer. And my brothers and my sisters, it's not only necessary or probable that we just dream, but we ought to take that dream to the next level. Whatever God deposits in your heart, and whatever he gives you to do or to say or to act or whatever it is, you need to take that dream and run with that dream and bring it to fruition. And now Joseph was able to feed his brothers and feed the people who came into the land. There was plenty for everything. Why? Because it started out with a dream. And whenever you have a dream that God has given to you, and no matter what people will say, oh, you ain't going to become that, you're not going to make that. You don't let nobody kill your dream. Don't let anybody tell you what you cannot do, what you cannot become, where you cannot go. Let them know that through Christ I can do all things. That gives me the strength. I can excel. Don't be satisfied with the status quo. Mediocrity. Dr. Ben Elijah Mays once said that failure is not a sin, really. He said, but low aim is. Make sure your aim is high. Excel. Work harder and smarter. Some people just say work smarter, you ain't got to work hard. No, you got to do both. You got to work hard and you got to work smart. Because when you do that, your dream will come to fruition. And then you can look back and say, look what God has done. Not what I have done, but look what God has done through me. I know all of you got testimonies how God has made a dream that you had come to life. All of us have evolved in some kind of way in our life. But once you come to the point that you have met one of your goals, you can look back and say, God has brought me from a mighty long way. God has blessed me. And you give him all the glory. And then you go out and reach one and teach one and tell them how they can also not only be a dreamer, but be a doer. Give God the glory. Let's all stand. Right in your row, everybody in your row, I want you to make your row a praying tabernacle. We're going to close out with prayer tabernacle. Just grab the hand of somebody in your row and just go around in that row, give your short prayer request, and I want everybody to just start praying. Praying right now. Hallelujah. Praying right now. Bless these prayer tabernacles right now, God.